All right, so here we go. It is 7:35. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
All right, Happy New Year. It's great to see everybody and that everybody survived the New Year. So let me ask you guys a question. How many of you want to become financially free? Excellent. And how many of you guys want to become financially free quickly?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is the year we make major strides to become what?
Financially free.
Oh, thank you. I want you to turn to both your neighbors, give them a high five, and say, "This year I become financially free."
This year I become financially free. This year I become financially free.
All right, this is the year. This is the year. This is the year. So, let's take care of some of the important things first. Anybody who has a cell phone, how many of you guys don't have a cell phone? Okay, so if you have a cell phone, you know what you're supposed to do with them, right? Turn them off, please. So what we'd love to do is be able to have 90 minutes uninterrupted by texts or phone calls or any of that stuff. Also, if you need to go to the restroom, how many of you guys have never been here before? Excellent, welcome. So good to have you. So if you need to take care of business, the restrooms are back there. Just go whenever you do need to do that. So 80% of success is just showing up. Yeah, so I want you to reach around, pat both your neighbors on the back and say, "Congratulations for being here." Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, you know, first of all, I want to congratulate all you guys for being here. Of course, I truly do believe that 80% of success is showing up. But, you know, I want to tell you guys how much I really, truly appreciate that you guys come here every Tuesday morning and learn and grow. And how many of you believe that everything happens for a reason? See, I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe that there's a reason why you guys come here every Tuesday morning. It could be because of something that I'm going to say. It could be because of something that you have in conversation with someone else. It could be because of a relationship that you haven't had that you're supposed to have. So, you know, there's so much value and benefit of coming together every Tuesday morning. And I believe that inside each and every one of you, there is the seeds for financial freedom. How many of you believe that? I believe that every single one of you have inside of you the ability to create financial freedom, and sooner rather than later. How many believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I truly and absolutely totally believe that. And the way that happens is if you're willing to take massive action. What are the two words?
Massive action.
Yeah, so this year, the year 2012, if your goal is financial freedom, how many of you have that goal? And how many of you want to create it quickly? Okay, is you're going to have to do what? You're going to have to create
Massive action.
Massive action, right? So I know myself, for me personally, there's only so many days in the year, right? Right? There's only so many hours in the day, right? So if I want to double, triple, quadruple what I've been doing in the past, can I add more time?
No.
So what do I have to do? I have to utilize my time to the best of my ability, right? And so I can't really work a whole lot harder, which means I need to work a whole lot
Smarter.
Yes. And guess what you guys all need to do? You need to all work a whole lot
Smarter.
Yes, right. And so it's not only taking massive action, it's taking massive smart action. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so smart action. Okay, so remember, in any business, I don't care what business you guys are in, your success, your ability to create financial freedom quickly is to deliver massive value. True or true?
Yeah.
Right. So I don't care what business you're in, the quantity, what's the word please?
Quantity.
The quantity of your value that you can actually deliver, what's the word?
Deliver.
And what does deliver mean? Who can give me a definition of deliver?
Give.
It's when you provide.
You provide. Exchange and get paid.
What did
Money in the hand.
Say it out loud, please.
Money in the hand.
Okay, remember this, you guys. How many of you are in sales or in business? Okay, how many of you believe you should get paid for your product or your service? Okay, when do you get paid? Upon what?
Delivery.
Upon what?
Delivery.
Okay, you guys get it?
Yep.
Okay. Unless you deliver, you don't get
Paid.
If you want to get paid a lot, you need to deliver
A lot.
If you want to create massive wealth, you need to deliver massive value. Is this clear to you guys?
Yep.
There's no shortcuts to it, right? There are none. That's what has to happen if you truly want to become financially free. How many of you guys want to become financially free? Okay, of all your financial goals, where would that rank?
Number one.
Number one, okay. So, who can give me the definition of financial freedom? Michael, give me your definition of financial freedom. You can do it. Definition, financial freedom.
Bringing that value to the world so that the world supports me in return in the way I want to be supported.
Okay, that's from a very high level perspective. I totally agree. Okay, Richard.
Having enough passive income where I don't have to work for my money.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so here's where you win the game. How many of you guys want to win the money game?
Yeah.
Okay, you win the money game when you become financially
Free.
Okay, how do you know when you're financially free? When you have enough what kind of income?
Passive.
You have to pay for your desired lifestyle. If it costs you $4,000 a month to live, and you have $4,000 a month of passive income from some kind of business or some kind of investment that you've made, are you free?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, can you keep building on it so you can get up to 5,000, 7,000, 10, 20, 30,000? Can you?
Yes.
Okay, so let's not worry about 20, 30, 40,000 right now. What's your nut? Well, how much does it cost for you to live every month? Right? And if you could cover that with passive income, what kind of income?
Passive.
Okay, that's level one, financial freedom. Because if you can cover your expenses without you having to work, are you free? Yes. Okay. You may not be driving a Mercedes. You may not be taking a cruise every 2 months. But maybe you don't care about that stuff, right? Maybe you just want the choice to be able to spend your time doing what you want. How many want that choice? I would hope everybody wants that choice. That's the greatest thing in life, to know that you can wake up every morning and do exactly what your passions are. Is that good or good?
Good.
Right? Everybody should have a reason for freedom, and freedom means the ability to do whatever you want with your life. Now, for some of you, that might be kicking back. For me, that's constantly growing to another level. Once I reach one level, it's kind of like, okay, I need a new challenge. So I want to go to another level. And on top of that, the more successful that I am, the more successful all of you guys are. You know why? Because I share with you. I share with you what works, and I share with you what doesn't work. So you don't make the same frickin' mistakes that I make. And trust me, I guarantee you this year I'll try some things that are not going to work. Now, I'm not putting that out there because I want to put something negative out there. I'm putting it out there because, you know, I have enough accurate thinking, which is something that I learned from Napoleon Hill, to know that if everything you're trying works, you're not trying hard enough. You got to push it. There are things you're going to try that they're not going to work for a variety of reasons. And is that good or bad?
Good.
It's neither. Nothing is good or bad. It's whatever you want to make of it. So for me, that's good, because that's a great learning experience, right? Right? They were interviewing Thomas Edison about the light bulb. And, you know, I've heard different stories. It took him like 10,000 trials to make the light bulb, or 900 trials. Anyway, you look at it, it was lots of trials, right? So one guy was saying to him, look, don't you feel like a bit of a failure? I mean, it took you 900 tries before you finally got it right? And Edison says, no, not really. He says, you know, I just realized it was a process that took 901 steps. And so every failure was just another step on the way to success, right? Right? And in business and in your financial life and in your life, every failure is really and truly just one step closer to success. So the year 2012, you guys are going to take massive what? Action. What's the word?
Action.
Yeah, you're going to turn to both your neighbors, give them a high five, and say, in 2012, I'm going to take massive action.
We're going to take massive action.
Massive action, right? Okay. So here's all right. Thank you. All right. So here's so guys. So here's what I want. You know, we have a tradition. We kind of go through the room. Everybody kind of stands up and introduces themselves. This year, what I want, at least today, what I want for you guys to do is we want to go around the room. I want you to stand up, introduce yourself, and then say, besides coming here every Tuesday morning, what other massive action do you intend to take in 2012? Something very specific. What kind of massive action? Are you going to invest significantly more time in learning and doing social media marketing? Are you going to do a whole lot more about coming up with various products that you could sell into the marketplace? Are you going to investigate a whole bunch of different types of business opportunities to find one that really truly resonates with you? I mean, what kind of massive action do you intend to take this year so that you're definitely on the path to creating financial freedom? All right? So besides coming here every Tuesday morning, right, that's a must. What else are you going to do in terms of massive action this year that's absolutely going to help you reach your goal of financial freedom? All right? So take like maybe 30 seconds, write something down so that when it's your turn to speak, you're not kind of like just trying to, oh my God, I didn't have a chance to think about it. Unless you already know. Okay, all right. So what, Cindy? We'll start at your table and we'll work our way. And you know, and before we get started, guys. Okay, so I have 3 rules. All right, I used to have 2. I have 3 rules. How many rules? 3 rules. Okay. So the first rule is this. Okay. No side conversations, please, okay? For the 90 minutes that we're here, let's have everything focused on whoever is speaking at the time. Good or good? Good. Okay, everybody on board with that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Number 2 is you gotta be open. What's the word, please?
Open.
Look, everything that I teach, everything that you learn when you're here, it's not true, it's not false, it's not right, it's not wrong. I can tell you that every single thing that we talk about here every Tuesday morning has transformed my life, and I guarantee you that if you're open to trying this stuff out, and you have to try it in your own life, you can't just say, well, Jeff said it. I want you to actually try it in whose life? Mine. Yeah, try it out in your life, because you won't learn anything until you're doing something. True or true?
True.
Right? So I want you to try these things out in your life and be open to them. Right? So how many of you guys want to be open 100%?
Yeah.
Okay, that's really, really important. Okay, and number 2 is, you know, I consider that the time we spend here together every Tuesday morning is sacred time. I do. I look at it as if we're in the gold mines, we're mining pure gold. These minutes are precious. Because how many times during the course of the week can your mind simply focus on yourself and your success and your mindset and your blueprint? How often during the course of the week can you do that in a community-like setting? You can't. There's so much energy that surrounds us here in this room, you know, that there's so much value inside of all of that. And so here we are, we have the opportunity to learn and grow. How many of you guys want to learn and grow? How many of you want to learn and grow faster? How many of you want to remember more of what you learned? So research indicates the key to that is what?
Participation.
Yeah, participation and involvement. The more you guys participate, the more you guys involve yourself as we spend this time together, the better you learn and the better you help everybody else learn. Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been proven beyond any shadow of a doubt that accelerated learning techniques is the way to go. Which means that very often I ask a lot of questions. You guys notice that, right?
Yeah.
Do I ask a lot of questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I leave the last word off the end of my sentence. Your mind just fills in the blank. Yeah, you guys are good. Sometimes I ask you to write something down. Now, Linda, why is it important to write stuff down?
Because it helps you to remember, retain things, because you're hitting more parts of your body, like more senses.
Right. Like, for example, if you want to learn a speech or something like that, is it good to actually physically write it down? Is that true, Linda?
Yes.
Why? Why is that true, Linda?
It's just a different way of, it's like the more ways you can get the information in you, the more ways that you will retain it and build new neural pathways.
Build more what?
New
Neural pathways. Okay, you guys into that? Like, do you remember sometimes when you wanted to learn how to write, you know, you wrote the sentence, the dog jumps over the moon. Okay. And you would write that 100 times. right? And by the 100th time, did you pretty much know how to write it? And especially if you did that like for a week, right? Okay, so, you know, there's tremendous value when you write things down, because when you write things down, it's adding to your neurological pathways. True or true?
True.
Okay, when you say a declaration, when you stand up and you say something out loud, and you can hear your voice and you can feel the vibration of your body, of that frequency in your body, is that adding to your neurological pathways? Yeah. Right. So declarations is a way to add to your neurological pathways. Hearing things over and over and over and over again, is that a way to build your neurological pathways? Yes. Repetition, that's why they say repetition is the mother of learning, right? You really learn something when you repeat it over and over and over and over again. True or true? Right? So if I ask you to write something down, there's a value in you writing it down because it's just building that neurological pathway. True or true?
True.
Right? Okay. Sometimes I ask you to repeat things. Why?
Repeat things.
Yeah, to repeat things. Now, why do I ask you to repeat things?
To infuse them.
To help you remember, yeah, to keep you
When
involved.
you say it, it's one thing, but when we say it, it's everything.
Yeah. Remember this, guys. It's one thing when I say it. It's a whole different thing when yeah, when you say it, when the words come out of your mouth, when your ears hear those words coming out of your mouth, that's very powerful. That's why when you say negative things in your life, I can't do that, that's too hard, you're hearing it, you're saying it, and you're hearing it. You have to check yourself. That's one of the biggest lessons you can learn this year, is to check yourself. So that even if you're thinking it, don't allow yourself, for God's sake, to say it. Your words are powerful, not only in how they influence other people, but how they influence yourself, right? Okay, so it's really important that while we're here, we all participate 100%. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Anybody willing not to participate 100%? It's okay if you don't want to, but you're going to learn the most. You're going to get the most out of this time if you're willing to participate 100%. So, no side conversations, number one. Being willing to be completely open is number two. And number three is being willing to participate. Everybody willing to participate?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Anybody not? Okay. So we'll start at Cindy's table. We're going to go around the room. And Cindy, go ahead. Introduce yourself and talk about your massive action other than coming here every week.
I'm Cindy Gittleman, and my husband and I run an internet business called Creative Medical ID. We make medical identification jewelry. And besides coming here every Tuesday morning, I'm going to continue to grow and develop our social media for our website, continue to develop new products, continue to learn and grow in my life and my business, and continue to create maximum value for our customers.
All right, very good. Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Michael.
I'm the other half of that team. My name is Mike Gittleman, co-owner of Creative Medical ID. And besides coming here every Tuesday morning, I'm going to introduce new products and I'm going to make new associations with other companies that are related to what we do.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm Linda Costello. I'm a success strategist. I also work with Jeff, and this year I'll be working, part of my massive action plan is to be working even more and closer with Jeff on his Bank on Yourself business. And to do that, I know that the two of us are going to come up with some amazing plans to market to high-end people and to really bring this to a lot more people, because it's something that everybody needs.
All right, great. Thanks, Linda. Debbie.
I'm Deb Searle, and I'm a holistic nutritionist, and my main job this year is to focus on 2 to 3, maybe 4 things, because I tend to go 12 or 13 things, so that's what I'm going to do, and make them really work.
Very good. All right, thank you, Debbie. All right. Vince, why don't we start here? We'll just go all the way down, and then we'll come back this way, and we'll go down that way.
Vince Costa, and besides coming here on Tuesday mornings, which I'm pretty good at,
Yes, you are.
I intend to share both my gym networking and my ACN networking with a larger number of people so that they can get more value from that. As well, I'm going to track what I'm doing as far as that's concerned to make sure that I'm following up, and then I'm going to really improve on my social media stuff.
All right, thanks, Vince. Guys?
I'll go next. This table. I'll start.
Oh, I'm sorry. Absolutely. Pardon me.
I'm Jason Nast, and I'm actually going to talk a little bit later on about something related to this. But my addition to coming here Tuesday mornings is my word for 2012 is development, and I have dedicated my 2012 to developing my relationships, developing myself physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. So it's all about development. And that will play a lot into what I want to talk to you guys about later. So after this is over, I need 10 minutes of your time, and you will be well rewarded for hanging out. I have a huge announcement for you, so I need you too. So that's me. Thank you.
And I highly recommend they stick around because I know one of the things
All right. Okay. Richard.
Okay. Hello, my name is Richard, and aside from coming here every Tuesday, the thing that I'm going to do as far as massive action for 2012 is reach out to each and every one of my contacts, friends, colleagues, and spend 15 minutes with them to show them how I can help them save money so they can be financially free and find that money that's in their budget so they can spend it on other things to promote passive income.
All right. Very good.
I'm Adriana Salin, his other half, and I don't have a business, but besides coming here every Tuesday, I commit to socialize a little more.
Okay, very
Very good.
Excellent. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Tom Fisher, and in addition to coming here every Tuesday, and among lots of other places, my biggest action plan is to tell people more about exactly what I do in different parts. I'm going to break it down to more of the cellular level, more instead of just saying financial planning, I'm going to break it down. So what I want to talk to everyone initially is, the basis, life insurance. I want to talk about that part of my business, and I'm going to focus on that for the next few weeks, and then I'm going to move on to different parts of financial planning. So let me review your life insurance. Thank you.
I'm Dan Mercer. I represent a group of people called Team Mercer, and we distribute Juice Plus, whole food nutrition in a capsule. And then we recently also included a company called Jamberry Nails, and that's for my daughters who are 13 and 16 to become involved in business. So you'll see me posting things about Jamberry Nails, not necessarily for myself. I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
Sorry, that was just on the weekend.
Oh, and so my massive action, Dan Mercer's going viral. I'm going to be everywhere. So you'll see me on the internet all the time. You're going to see me at all sorts of events. Dan Mercer's viral.
All right, Dan.
My name is Greg Gale. I'm with Nova Home Loans, specializing in residential home mortgages. Other than coming here every Tuesday, my pledge this year is to become a better leader and mentor and recruit more people onto my team to help them grow in their success.
Outstanding.
Outstanding. Good job.
Very good.
My name is Dee Hagmeyer, and I'm sort of new to this group. I saw Linda's little email, and so I thought I'm going to check this out. It says I went to the Millionaire Mind Intensive, which was fantastic, and I thought I need accountability for finances. And so my word for the year is money. In regard to my business that I want to start, I had a business in Iowa for about 12 years. I want to restart it again here in Arizona. It's a holistic health and wellness center. There's a nutritionist, and I am also a certified nutritionist as well as a retired nurse, RN. And so I'm taking my nursing into my holistic practice, which I have done for 12 years in Western Arizona. So I need the monies for not only for myself, for my own subsistence, but also for the monies to generate for my business. So that's my goal for this year, and I'm excited to meet each and every one of you. And I do want to talk to Jason. Is it Jason?
Oh, Richard.
Richard, excuse me. Also, so thank you all, and it's going to be exciting.
Welcome. Welcome. She needs to be introduced to Steve Paulus.
Excuse me?
Steve Paulus, Dr. Steve Paulus. You
Okay.
need to meet him.
All right. Thank you. I'll get that name.
For those of you that don't know me, I'm Kathy Mills, and I'm an
and wastewater. And this year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to become a spark in the industry, because whenever I go to industry meetings, I've been on the conference committee for like 12 years. This year, every time I go, they're talking about, oh, this company's downsizing, this person lost their job, this person left. I don't like hearing that type of thing, so I'm going to be the spark in the engineering industry that's says, let's change this, let's improve it, and let's move on. Don't blame the economy. We're going to take it into our own hands.
My name is Thomas Haven. I'm with Arizona Ski Bus. It's all about fun. Let's go to Snow Bowl. Let's all pray for snow. My plan of action this year is to read 6 books about personal development. Just get it in on the cellular level. And learn a great deal more about social media so I can expose more people. More people know about it, more people will go skiing. It's all about fun.
Don't you have an event tomorrow?
I have an event tomorrow. It is at, I even have flyers. It is going to be at Four Peaks in Scottsdale, 6:30. We are going to watch one of the top 10 of all time ski movies. There's going to be several giveaways. I've got Alpine Board Sports on board. I expect to hear from Ski Pro today. Raffles, giving away a trip, and stuff from each company. I'm Tom Hayden.
How much does it cost to go to that event?
To go to this event?
Yeah.
Cost you whatever you, how much do you want to drink?
That's a dangerous question.
Okay. Lucretia.
Hi, I'm Lucretia Torba. I'm an artist, and the massive action I'm going to concentrate on this year is reviewing my internet presence, because I have a website that just kind of sits there. It's been sitting there for a couple of years. So I really haven't taken full advantage of the internet.
Okay, very good.
My name is Loa, and since I got my idea just last night for what I'm going to be doing for the next while, I need to refine my content, get it into a format where I can present it and market myself for it.
And market?
Myself for it, for getting me out there.
Okay. All right. Janice.
I'm Janice Miller, and I'm a human being more consultant with an incredible company called Maniac, and I'm also a successful, wealthy woman. I bring massive value to your life through energy products that enhance your life without you changing what you already do in your life. And that action I'm going to take besides being here is I am calling 100 people a week. It's a lot of fun, and then I meet with them.
All right, very good. Congratulations. That's excellent. Excellent. Jeremiah.
I'm Jeremiah McBride. I'm a legacy planner. What I'm gonna do this year to make massive changes in my life and massive action is I'm going to ask more questions of everybody, including my wife, even though she doesn't want that. I'm going to become a master at social media, and I'm going to take more time for myself in meditation.
Very good.
All right, very good.
Yes, I'm going first. I'm Lisa Egan with Leading Realty, and we've already started a lot of our plans for 2012, so we're expanding to a bigger, more office next door to be able to have educational classes for agents, open to all agents. We actually started hiring more agents. We haven't done that in a while because we kind of just let things sit, but we're going to, my plan is to bring on 150 agents more and triple our personal sales. And but the educational is going to be very important as far as not just CE classes, but social media, educating people on that, on stuff like what you talk about. Just getting people, just giving them the education that they crave and they desire that's not out there.
Very good. Gary.
Hi, my name's Gary Egan with Leading Realty, obviously. I think this year the big thing is that, so many people have been hurt by real estate as far as foreclosure, short sale, they're upside down, their house, whatever. We want to take it where we can actually go and help educate them and show them what kind of options they have out there. And Lisa and I, like I said, we want to expand and really get into the education side of real estate. Because there's a lot of people that don't really know what's going on or what kind of opportunities are out there. So we want to be able to help them on it. All right, thanks.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Julie Gildersleeve. I represent Send Out Cards. This has been a great place for me to be on Tuesday mornings, and I've changed my schedule so I can be here on time.
Great.
And that was part of my massive action, because I did that this morning. I'm going to continue going to personal development workshops, whether it's 1 day, 3 day, or intensive. I've got an intensive one that I'll be doing in November. It's a week long, so I'm looking forward to that. And just really stay with like-minded people and focus on my goals.
Excellent. Let's give it I would say this, you know, I kind of half say it kiddingly, but I also mean it. The greatest gift that you can give yourself is constantly educating yourself. True or true? True. I'll tell you what, I'd much rather have the millionaire mind than to have a bunch of assets. Because I can lose those assets, but I'll never lose my millionaire mind. True or true? True. You hear about people like Donald Trump. Anybody heard of Donald Trump? Yes. The guy loses all of his money. Isn't it true at one point in the 1990s, he lost it all? Yes, he was very successful in the 70s and the 80s, and when the 1990s rolled around, he lost every single bit of it, and within just a short couple of 3 years, he had it all back and more and never stopped since then. True or true? True. Why? Because even though he may have lost his $1 million of assets, he never lost the most important possession that he owns in his life and that you own in your life. In his case, it was his billionaire mind, right? Billionaire mind. And then on the flip side, you hear about all these people who win the lottery and they got millions of dollars, and what's the story you hear over and over and over and over again? What happened to all these people?
Gone in 3 years or less.
Spend it all.
What is it?
It's the worst thing that happens to them.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing that ever happened to them. You believe that? It's the worst thing. Why? Why? Because what's their blueprint? What's it set for? Poverty. That's what it's set for, right? So, how many of you would agree that the most important thing you can have in your life is a blueprint that's set for success? How many would agree?
Yeah.
And when do they teach you that stuff? When do you learn it?
Right here.
Right here.
Besides, right. So let me ask you guys something. What do you think is the #1 best way to learn? Experience. But let's suppose you're unconsciously incompetent. You know, which is most everybody. What's the definition of unconsciously incompetent? You don't even know what you don't know, right? I was saying earlier that starting back in the 1970s, when I was on the mailing list for Nightingale Conant. How many of you heard of Nightingale Conant? They're like the world's leader in personal development and have been like forever. If you ever heard of Earl Nightingale, if you ever heard his stuff, it's classic. I grew up to Earl Nightingale, right? Earl Nightingale was like he was like phenomenal. He was just an amazing, amazing guy. But back then, $49 bought you an audio cassette program kind of like this. And each month, when you got your audio program, they'd say, guess what, next month, we have a program featuring this guy who's the creative genius behind Walt Disney, who's going to show you in a 12 CD program or audio program exactly how to open up your creativity in your life so you can be 1,000,000 times more creative and get 1,000,000 times outside the box and make a name for yourself and be hugely successful. And because you're one of our VIP clients, instead of paying $79, back then $79 was a lot of money, you could get it for $49. Well, do you think I was thinking about wanting to become a master at becoming creative? No. But they would send me this thing that says, you got to be creative if you really want to be successful. So guess what I would do?
Buy it.
I'd buy it. I was unconsciously incompetent. I didn't even know all this stuff. And all of a sudden, here's a guy who's like a guru at it, and he's saying, I'll teach you in this audio program how to think like a creative genius so you can be more successful. Is that good or good?
Yeah.
Right. And then I would get that one, and inside that CD program, there was another thing from Nightingale Conant that says, the most successful people in the world manage their time to the minute. They're the world's greatest time managers you could ever imagine because your time is so precious. How many would agree? The most valuable commodity is your time. You're trading your time for your life every minute. How important is your time? It's everything. How many of you have mastered the skill of managing your time? Did you know that there is a system? What's the word?
System.
There's a system for everything.
Yep.
There's a right system to do just about not just about, there's a right way to do everything. There's a best way to do everything. Chances are your systems suck in most areas. I hate to say it, but it's true. So, I get the thing that says, you want to learn how to manage your time properly? You need a system. This guy has spent 20 years of his life discovering the secrets to having a system for managing your time. Would you like to know it? It's only $79. But because you're a preferred customer with Nightingale Conant, you can get it for $49. So guess what I would do?
Get it for $49.
And I would every month. Every month. You think there's one area you need to be good at? You got to be good at a lot of areas. Look, how many of you guys want to become financially free? Do you want to guarantee yourself that you'll be financially free?
Yeah.
It's called the 100% Edge. How many of you want the 100% Edge? Ross Perot. Anybody hear of Ross Perot?
Yes.
He wrote the book, The 100% Edge.
I voted
He says,
for him.
if you can provide a better product at a better price and deliver it faster and have better client follow-up, you have 100% edge over your competition every time. If they can buy it, if it's a better product at a lesser price, and you can deliver it quicker, and you have better client follow-up, so you're building those relationships, you don't have any competition. It doesn't matter what the business is. It's the 100% edge. Now, for you to have the 100% edge, let me ask you guys something. In his prime, if you took on Michael Jordan, played one-on-one basketball against Michael Jordan, who do you think is going to win?
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, because is he just good at scoring? Do you think Michael Jordan was just good at scoring? He was good at every part of the game, wasn't he? He was an all-star defensive player. He was always voted on the all-defensive team. Everybody knew him as a great scorer. No matter what part of the game, he excelled in every part of the game, right? If you took on Mike Tyson in his prime, what are your chances of beating him? You have no chance. He dominates you. You want to become financially free in the next year? You need to dominate. You need to be Michael Jordan. You need to be Mike Tyson, which means you need to be the best. That is what you want. That is what you want. That. You dominate. You have a better product at a better price. You have better delivery, and you do better client follow-up. You do those things, you're going to be far, far, far more successful this year. So we talked about the best way to learn. I'm telling you guys something. The best way to learn is at a seminar. That's the best way to learn. And if it's not at a seminar, it's in some kind of community, some type of a training where you're together with other people. The second best way is to read the book. Well, why do you think a seminar is even more valuable than reading the book?
Action, involvement, and energy.
I'm sorry, Laura?
Action, involvement, and energy.
Yeah, and it's not just your interpretation. When you read the book, you're just going to read that and you're going to get your interpretation. When you're at a seminar, you get lots of other types of interpretations. So you get to look at things from lots of different perspectives. True or true?
True.
Different energy, different everything. By far, the best way to learn, number one, is at seminars. I'm going to tell you guys something. I definitely am going to pick 2 seminars. I'm going to plan to go to this year, one probably in the first half of the year, the other in the second half of the year. I'm going to plan it, I'm going to go there, and I'm going to pick and choose specifically what I really want to learn. Why?
because it's your
So that
life.
you can get better.
So I can get, so yeah. If I go to a seminar, one of the seminars I'm thinking about going to, there's a guy who he professes to be, and I'll find out more. But when it comes to referral marketing, what kind of marketing? Referral. This guy is like the guru. He knows all the strategies. Now, one of my things for this year, and I hope every single one of you learn this, is you want to model. What's the word, please? Model. You want to model the most successful people you can find. You want to model them. I don't just study millionaires, I study billionaires. And not only am I modeling their business strategies, is that important?
Yes.
How are they making these billions? What are they doing? How do they systemize their business? What kind of marketing are they doing? How do they go after the marketplace? What are they doing and how do they grow it? Right? So, you know, to me, so I study the billionaires. I've studied how, Sam Walton, how did he make his money? You know, how do all these multi-billionaires make their money? And you don't only model their business systems and their business tactics, although, is that important?
Yes.
Yeah, and 99% of you aren't modeling what they're doing in business, their specific strategies and their specific tactics. We'll work on that throughout the year for sure. But it's also modeling their mindset. That's the big part everybody misses. You know, there's a million people that read these books about how these billionaires became billionaires, but they don't go out there and do it. How many of you have been to the MMI? How many of you are millionaires? You went to the MMI, what's going on? Why aren't we all millionaires? Why?
Been there, yep.
Harv told you, or...
It's a blueprint.
What's that? What's your...
It's a blueprint.
Your blueprint, you know, those seeds never took root. Or if they did take root,
They haven't grown up yet.
you never kept nourishing them, and you never kept growing them deeper and stronger so that you could get those fruits. How many of you guys want those fruits? You're darn right you want those fruits. Now, so the number one way to learn is to go to a seminar. And like I said, one of the seminars I intend to, it might be, I think it's in Orlando, but it's 3 days, and it's all the very specific strategies and tactics for referral marketing. Now, you think that's important? Do you want to know the most valuable group of prospects you have right now? You know who they are?
Yes. Your current network.
Your current network. Your current network. If you do right kind of follow up with your current network, that opens up the door to lots of potential business. Number one. You know the second best group of people to sell to? Prospects?
Their current network.
That's not other people's lists of clients who have said yes to other people. That's your second best group of prospects. You find somebody that you have some kind of collateral relationship with. You know, I said collaboration is important. How many of you heard me say that? Strategic partnerships, joint ventures with other people who have lists and have clients that have said yes and they trust that person.
That's exactly how Mr. T. Bar Decker grew what he had.
Sure.
Because he put together somebody else's list.
He did. How many of you heard of a guy by the name of Robert Allen? Robert Allen is a genius, by the way. He's brilliant. In fact, he's in the CD program I'm talking about right here. Over the past weekend, I didn't go to a seminar, but this is an audio recording of 4 days of a seminar. This is like 26 hours. There's another set, 2 sets. And I want to share something with you that I found so much profound value inside of this seminar that I listened to. So I wasn't there, and this is already like 15 years old, the information on here. But I learned so much from it, and so, you know, seminars, coming to group type trainings like this, it brings a book like Secrets of the Millionaire Mind alive. So you can learn it at the cellular level. What level? Cellular level. So I really believe the most important thing that you guys can do in order to make financial freedom very, very quickly is to begin to really understand this stuff at the cellular level. What level?
Cellular.
Okay, the cellular level means it's part of your nature. It's who you are. True or true?
True.
It is absolutely your blueprint. It's your what?
Blueprint.
Your blueprint. Okay. And what do we say? Repetition is the mother of learning. Okay. So, you know, we want huge, massive results. True or true?
True.
Okay. So the process of manifestation, we want to manifest, we want to create in the outer world wealth, financial freedom. True or true?
True.
Okay. So who can tell me what the process of manifestation, how does it go, please? Linda?
Thoughts plus feelings. Take action and equals results.
Okay, thank you. So our thoughts are what?
Thoughts.
I'm sorry, our what?
Thoughts.
Yeah, our thoughts lead to our feelings. Our what? Our feelings. Which results in our actions. Our what?
Actions.
Which ends up into our results. Okay. So let's work back. Our results are the result of taking action, and our actions are based on our feelings, and our feelings are based on our thoughts. Okay, so what we want to do is we want completely different results. Is that true or true?
Right.
True. So let's go back to the root. The root are our thoughts. True or true?
True.
Right? That's a process, right? Thought. Okay. Where do our thoughts come from?
Programming.
Who knows?
Where do our thoughts come from?
They come from every day.
Our thoughts come from our programming. Where's it come from?
Programming.
Yeah, information that's been fed to us from the time we were infants. And we didn't know any better. And we heard things like when we were little kids, like, rich people are crooks. And you know, that one time you heard it, if you heard it from someone who was an adult, maybe one of your parents or someone that you respected, and they said rich people are crooks, that one negative file, you know what? You may have heard that when you were 5 years old, but it still drives your life today. It does. Your thoughts, for the most part, were created. Your attitudes, for the most part, were created while you were growing up. And that's your programming. Your what?
Programming.
Okay, so your programming leads to your thoughts. And your thoughts lead to your feelings. And your feelings lead to your actions. And your actions lead to your results. So if we want to move back, if we want massive results, we got to take massive action, right?
Right.
And massive action comes from having a massive belief in what we're doing and what our value is, right? And that becomes from our thoughts, right?
Right.
And our thoughts come from massive programming. Massive programming. If you want massive results, your programming has to be
Massively different.
massively different, thank you,
Right.
from what it is right now. Because if you keep doing what you're doing right now, I guarantee you, you'll keep getting what kind of results?
Same result.
Yeah, so if you want massive results, and how many of you want financial freedom? How many of you want it sooner rather than later? Which means you're gonna have to put up massive effort, right? You're gonna have to take massive action, which means your blueprint has to be set for taking massive action. True or true?
True.
Okay, so can you reprogram yourself?
Yes.
How many believe you can? How many believe you can? How many believe it's not possible for you to reprogram yourself? You can't learn a new habit, it's impossible.
I can teach anybody.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I'm going to tell every single one of you here right now that if you really have a passion for something, if you really and truly wanted to become a really good piano player, in 3 years from today, I could show you, if you're willing to put in the time, and put a little bit of money to have some teachers show you along the way, maybe buy a few books, in 3 years, you may not be the world's best piano player, but how many of you believe if you really love piano and you really want to become a good piano player, in 3 years you could learn to be pretty good at it?
Yeah.
That's because of your programming, right? What if you decided you want to run a marathon race? In 3 years or less, if I said, okay, here's how we're going to do it so you can run a marathon race, can any one of you build up so you can, maybe you're not going to be a world-class marathon runner, but you're going to be better than 95% of the world who can't run a marathon race at all. Could you do that within 3 years?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What if you said, well, I want to play golf. Okay. if I said, well, okay, in 3 years, you may not be on the pro golf tour, but you can go out and play a very respectable round of golf. In 3 years, with the right lessons and practice and everything else, can you learn to be really good at that?
Yes.
Is there anything that if you really have a passion for it and you really want to do it, that in 3 years of focused learning, that over that period of time you can't become really, really, really good at it? Is there anything?
Yes.
No.
What can you not?
I cannot become a brain surgeon in 3 years.
Okay, you cannot become a brain surgeon in 3 years or less. That is true.
You can make serious progress towards it.
You certainly could. But for most things, for financial freedom, if you learn the right things, if you have a new blueprint, how many of you believe you can become financially free in 3 years or less? Right? So, I'm going to start off this year by giving you guys a gift. You're welcome to receive it if you want. If it resonates with you, fine. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine too. I know I had a conversation with Cindy about it. It didn't resonate with her, but it totally resonated with me. There's one guy who spoke. There were a bunch of people who spoke at this seminar. And there's this one guy, he's 28 years old, he's from Taiwan. And this is back in 1995, and at the time he was making $200,000 a month in his business. He was the #1 personal development trainer in Taiwan. He had taken higher speed wealth course, and within a year after had been to higher speed wealth course, he had written the #1 bestseller in Taiwan about how to become rich quickly. And he only had about a half an hour that he was at Harvard at this particular one, not as a speaker but as an attendee. But Harvard invited him to come up on stage and tell his story. And he's 28 years old, and the guy is talking like with the wisdom of Solomon when it comes to business and success. And he's got sales reps working for him that are making $20,000 a month. Now, how many of you guys wouldn't mind making $20,000 a month? And he's got like 60 of them, top sales reps. And he talks about how he goes through the sales interview process because he only wants the best. Who does he want working with him?
Best.
The best, right? He only wants to work with the best. And on top of it, this is his second business because his first business, he was a great public speaker, but he didn't know about business management or the back end of the business, which, by the way, is very, very common. So they hire like a CEO like me to come in and run the back end of the business while they're up on the stage selling and training, that kind of stuff. So what happened was this guy, he was young. He was like 19 or no, I guess he was like 21 at the time when he did it the first time. And he hired a CEO, and he says, look, you just say that, I'm hired as a consultant. You build and run the company because I know about accounting and sales and everything. And basically, he was the front end and never kept an eye on the back end. And eventually what happened was he built up this great big huge business, and then because he didn't know about accounting, he didn't know about finance, he didn't know about anything, he was just doing his thing, that they basically took all the clients away from him and they shoved him out of the way. And what he said was, to really be successful, you got to be kind of like a Michael Jordan. You got to be like a what's the name of that boxer? Mike Tyson. You have to be rounded. You may not necessarily be an expert in accounting, or an expert in finance, or an expert in management, or an expert in personnel. But you better at least be versed in this stuff if you plan to be in business. There's a reason why I took an undergraduate degree in business and an MBA in business and got my CPA. So I could learn about sales and finance and management and marketing. Nobody can pull the wool over my eyes. You want to do business, you don't know the first thing about marketing, and some guy's going to sell you a bill of goods. You don't know. You don't necessarily have to be an expert, but you got to be at least somewhat versed, true? Right? And you have to know about business and management if you want to have one. Otherwise, as you grow your business, guess what's going to happen to it? Somebody will steal it. That's why if you don't have all those skills, you need someone like me who has all that knowledge and background and spent years in learning all that stuff. to be a Mike Tyson or to be a Michael Jordan, you got to be quality through and through. True or true? True. So you just have to be that way. So anyways, this guy, he speaks for about 20 minutes. This guy, he's 28 years old. He's making $200,000 a month. His goal is within 3 years, and I don't know if he made it or not, but certainly with his plans, he had systems for everything. And that's such an important word. What's the word? Systems. He has systems for everything. He was at $200,000 a month, and 6 months previously, he was like at $120,000. So he's growing very, very rapidly, and he had systems for growing very, very rapidly. And he was totally into creating these neurological pathways. He believed anybody, if they wanted it bad enough, would learn these things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until, so that they would achieve whatever their goals were. Now, how many of you would agree with that? Yeah. And what he said was, he's proven it. His life changed when he did one thing. And now his entire organization does exactly the same thing. You don't have to do this if you don't want. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. I've started to do it. In fact, every morning when I wake up, see this piece of paper here on this page? What I do every morning, he said, he says, my life changed when I did this. And I said, okay, I'm going to do this. You're more than welcome to do this with me. He says, you write down what your major goal is in the next 3 years. And you write it down. So, for example, for me, I write down my major goal in the next 3 years is financial freedom and a passive monthly income of at least, and then fill in a number. All right, I'm already making a monthly passive income, so I want to add at least a certain amount more on top of it. But that's what I write. I write it 10 times every morning. It takes me about 10 minutes. It takes me about a minute to write it up. My primary goal in the next 3 years is financial freedom and a passive monthly income of whatever that number is. And I write it 10 times every morning. And then every night, before I go to sleep, I take another 10 minutes and I write it again. Now, why is writing it important?
It locks it in.
And he says, if you do this for a year, every day for a year, it takes 21 days to create a new habit. Well, we want massive results. What kind of results do we want? Massive. Which means we have to be prepared to take massive action. Which means not for 21 days, you need to do this for 365 days.
366 days this year.
Thank you. 366 days. One extra day to seal it in. Right? Is that good or good? So, I'm telling you this. When he talked about, he said, I had an accounting clerk who 2 years ago was making $400 a month working for me. And she started doing this. And 2 years later, she's making $20,000 a month. She went from $400 a month to $20,000 a month in 2 years. And every day, he has a leadership team. And his leaders hold each other accountable and their team accountable for them actually showing them that they've written it out. And any day that they haven't written out their primary goal for the next 3 years, it costs them $4. You pay a $4 penalty. Now, this is 15 years ago. $4 might be like, I don't know, 10 bucks a day. So there's a penalty. If you aren't committed enough to write this stuff down and do it, write it. Why is it important you write it?
It creates habits.
It's proven.
It's solid.
Linda?
I'd also like to mention that you need to write it with your own hand and not type it on a computer.
Yes. It needs to be handwritten. Thank you, Linda. Yes?
To catch up, I need to do 20 of them for 3 days.
No. Here's what he says. He says he has people on a weekend. Sometimes they'll take an hour. They'll write it like 20, 30, 50, 100 times. They'll just keep writing it over and over and over again. I've only been doing it like for 3 days. I can tell you what a difference it's made in my life. How many of you guys want to become financially free? How many of you want to become financially free sooner rather than later? Now, you don't have to do what I'm offering you as this gift. All I'm saying is when I listen to him, and I listen to his story, and I listen to his success, and he said if he was on his deathbed, the question, there was a round table at the end of the seminar. Have you ever been to a seminar where you have all these successful people who present, and then at the end there's a round table? And Harv would ask these questions. He said, if you were on your deathbed, and your children were around you, and you wanted to give them one piece of advice before you were gone that would make the biggest difference in their success in life, what would it be? And you had all these like 8, 9, 10 guys, and it was one woman, the rest were men, all talking about what that one piece of advice would be. This guy who was making $200,000 a month, and his goal was within 3 years to be making $2 million a month, this is what he said was the number one thing he would teach his children, that they needed to do this more than anything else. And so I said, okay, you know what? He may only be 28, but this guy is wise. This guy is very, very... Harv was gushing over this guy. I mean, really, this guy, because he had taken all of Harv's speed wealth principles, and he'd done massive action with them. He'd done massive action. And I'm going to do math. I mean, he inspired me. He's half my age. He's 20. In fact, maybe in Taiwan, it's a big thing to say if you're like a half. You know, when I was 4, I'd say I'm 4 and a half. Yeah. You know, when I got to be 57, I'm just 57. He's 28 and a half. He tells you that, right? He tells you that in the CD. So I'm 57. So you know what 28 and a half times 2 is? He's half my age, and you know what? I'm so happy to learn from this guy. You think age has anything to do with who you learn from? No. You think people... No. This guy is wise, and especially when it comes to making money, building massive wealth, this guy's got it all figured out. I mean, this guy is... I mean, he's really, truly brilliant. I'm going to go on the internet, and this is 1996, and Google him and see what he's done since then, but this guy's like one of the biggest guys in Taiwan at 28, and you can just tell from listening to him that he's got it all figured out. Now, how many of you guys want to get it all figured out? And we're going to figure it out this year, really. And really, the secret is systems. What's the word?
Systems.
Yeah, systems. So, we're going to have a system for studying this most amazing book. And the name of the book is?
Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
Yeah, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Everybody knows that part of the title. And of course, for marketing purposes, you know, that there's a couple of magical words in the title. But the most magical word from a marketing perspective, if you were going to write a book, how important is the title?
Very
huge. It's huge. It's huge. And one of the things that everybody gets honed in on, one of these magical words, you want to use it in your marketing as well, in your comments and stuff. The word is secrets. Everybody wants to know the secrets, don't you? Yeah. How many of you want to know the secrets to success? You want to know the secrets? Yeah, sure. So Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Okay, so that's the title, right? But what they don't know is that there's like a follow-up portion to the title. It's called Mastering. What's the word, please?
Mastering.
The Inner Game of Wealth. And guess what the secret to having a millionaire mind is?
Mastering the inner game of wealth.
Yeah, but nobody even knows that's even part of the title. And that's the secret. The secret is mastering the inner game of wealth. Now, who can tell me what mastering means?
Really learning it at a deep cellular level.
Okay, learning at a deep cellular level. Linda?
Being the best.
Being the best. Okay, Vince?
Well, she just stole it.
Okay, being the best. Lucretia?
Being unconscious competent.
Unconsciously competent. Yes, when you master something, you are unconsciously competent at it. No question about it. So mastering the inner game of wealth. So what is the inner game? Who can tell me?
The roots, the reprogramming, the blueprint.
Thank you. Okay, we talked about the process of manifestation. How many remember we just talked about that, right? And what is it? Our thoughts lead to our feelings, which lead to our actions, which lead to our results. Okay. Now, our results, are they part of the inner world or the outer world?
Outer world.
Outer world. Okay. Our actions, and then we have our thoughts and our feelings. Our thoughts and our feelings, are they part of the inner world or the outer world?
Inner world.
The inner world. Okay. So our thoughts and our feelings, and what creates our thoughts?
Our programming.
Okay, so our programming, our thoughts, and our feelings are which game? The inner game or the outer game?
Inner game.
Okay, so if we want to get the great results manifesting in the outer world, we need to master which world?
Inner world.
The inner world. We got to master the inner game. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you can learn all about social media, you can learn all about networking, you can learn all about negotiations, you can learn all about real estate, you can learn all about financial planning, you can learn all that stuff. But until you master the inner game, until you master your programming, your thoughts, and your feelings, which is also known as your financial blueprint. What's it known as?
Financial blueprint.
Until your financial blueprint is 100% set for massive levels of success, everything else you throw into that equation, it's only the results are going to only be equal to what your blueprint is set for. In other words, if your blueprint is currently set for mediocrity, no matter what business you get in, no matter what kind of marketing you do, no matter what kind of a negotiator you are, at the end of the day, if your blueprint is set for mediocre, you know what kind of results you're going to get?
Mediocre.
And until you change and permanently, what's the word?
Permanently.
Permanently change your blueprint, you will continue to get the exact same results. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why mastering the inner game of wealth is so important. Now, are you going to master this stuff in a day, a week, a month? No, you're not going to master it, but you know what? Every day you can build those roots so much stronger and so much deeper. True or true?
True.
And simultaneously, when?
Simultaneously.
As you're growing those roots, which are the inner game, you're also taking massive action so that you can win where?
Outer.
Yeah. It's not just learning this stuff and creating big roots. Until you take action, what's the word?
Action.
Action is the bridge from the inner world, your programming, your thoughts, and your feelings, from your results, right?
Yes.
If you write down the process of manifestation, its thoughts lead to feelings, lead to actions, lead to results. You want massive results, you must take massive action. What? Action. You must take massive action. So, you know, I've read and studied many books. What we want to do here is we want to master the ideas and the principles in this book. Yes or yes?
Yes.
And the deeper you understand this stuff, and the more you understand this stuff, the better. Now, I'm in a very unique position, and so you guys are in somewhat of a unique position. Because, number one is, I've known the guy who wrote this book since we were 10 years old. I knew him when he was...
Just hard, not too hard.
That's right, exactly. I mean, I was one of the guys. He was one of the guys. But even back then, I knew there was... Harv had certain charisma and certain qualities that you knew he had the potential to be successful. He was smart, he was charming, he was very athletic, good looking, got along well with all the guys, all the girls loved him. I mean, Harv was he was a winner. He was always a winner, and so, you know, my relationship with Harv was I knew Harv from the time we were 10 years old until we were 23, and at age 23 I came here in 1977 to get my master's in business administration, and Harv was down in Florida because most Canadians, especially in the eastern part of Canada, if you wanted to go where it was warm, everybody goes to Florida, right? And so Harv went to Florida, and he's trying all these various businesses over in Florida. And in 1980, I'd read Robert Allen's book on Nothing Down, and I bought some real estate. And Harv gives me a call with the Clear Blue, and he's coming through Phoenix, and he comes and visits me for a little over a week. And we had a great time while he was in town. And this is back in 1980. And then I lost touch with Harv completely. I didn't know what Harv was up to. For the most part, the one thing we had in common was Harv's best friend growing up was my cousin, who's also one of my best friends. And so I was always in touch with my cousin back in Toronto, which is where Harv is from. And he would hear from Harv and say, yeah, Harv just tried this business, flopped. You know, and Harv tried a lot of businesses that flopped. He did. And that's why, for me, I feel so blessed. Because I learned so much from his flopped businesses, so I wouldn't make those same mistakes. So I could learn from all of the screw-ups that he had made. So, you know, all of a sudden, it's 2003. I don't have to work in the corporate world anymore if I choose not to. I'm really at that point in my life where I have freedom. And I decided I'm going to start my own business, and I'm not sure what it is. I'm like a lot of you guys, I've never actually run my own business. I've run other people's businesses, but I've never started from scratch with my own business. And it's a whole different thing when you're starting your own business from scratch. Everybody would agree. Yeah. You can run other people's businesses, you can be involved in other people's businesses, but man, when you are running your own business, trust me, you know, it's a whole new ballgame. True or true? True. The level of details that you need to deal with is sometimes overwhelming. True or true? True. I mean, it's a lot, right? And so I wasn't sure what business it was. All I knew was that there were people no smarter than me making at least $1 million a year. How much?
At least $1 million.
And I wanted to make at least $1 million a year. How many of you would like to make at least $1 million a year? I'm going to let you in on a secret. My goal this year is to make $1 million. That's my goal. And that means I need to put out massive value because it's not just going to fall on my lap. And Linda and I together, we're going to figure it out. And
I'm going to make 280 bars.
and as we're doing things, I'm glad to share it with you. And I want all you guys to be successful too. And you know, if you're going to talk the talk, you darn well better. Yeah. And so I want to learn how to make $1 million. I want to get into a business. And I typed in the search engine machine, Yahoo, $1 million ideas. That's exactly what I did. And all these websites popped up. I didn't know any of them. The third one was for peak potentials training. Never heard of it. And there's a picture of my buddy Harv. 30 seconds after I'm looking for my $1 million idea. What are the odds? And there's a picture of Harv. And you know, anybody who knows me knows I've been a personal development junkie my whole life. And there's all these testimonials from Tony Robbins and Mark Victor Hansen and Robert Allen on his website saying, hey, you want to be the best you can be? You need to check this guy out. He is the most dynamic, brilliant presenter on the face of the planet today. And I hadn't seen Harv in 23 years. 1980 was the last time I'd seen him. This is now 2003. And he was broke, basically, the last time I saw him. And here he is. And all these people whose books I've read and seminars I've gone to and CDs and, forget CDs, cassettes. And they're all saying, this guy is like super genius. My buddy Harv. So I sent him a quick email. And we reconnected, and again, how many of you believe it? Everything happens for a reason?
Yep.
If I had gone into business for myself at that point, knowing what I knew, my odds of success would have been slim and none. Guaranteed. But he needed exactly what my experience and my background was so I could build peak potential while he was out there promoting and selling his book and doing his seminars. And I needed to learn the secrets. What's the word? Secrets. Of being really successful in business. So I could make $1 million in a year. You think Harv was making $1 million in a year?
A weekend.
He was making multi-millions in a weekend. So who do you want to learn from? How many people do you know that can make $2-3 million in a weekend? 3 days. Now, do you think he delivers massive value?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah. He does. He does. Because you know what? I think each and every single one of you guys knows deep down in your own hearts and souls that the best investment you can make of your money and your time is in the right knowledge that you can put into use. If you can invest $1 in education, and for that $1 in education, you can create $5 of income, how much do you want to invest in your own education? What other investment can you make where you can get that kind of return? You know, when I have people come to me and they don't have $75,000, $100,000, $200,000 to invest, they have $5,000 or $10,000 or $12,000. That's all they have. And that's a lot of people out there. I can't really help them with bank on yourself. Wish I could.
Then you go to Richard.
Yeah, well, but my point is this: you invest that money wisely in the right kinds of education, followed up with a plan of action. What's the word?
Plan of action.
Yeah. You invest that money, and now you're investing in your own self, in your own business, in your own marketing. And when you can become a master, what's the word?
Master.
At certain skills, and you can master any of these skills. Can you master relationship building?
Yes.
Can you master communication skills?
Yes.
Can you master follow-up skills?
Yes.
Yeah, you can master all the skills you need to learn to master to make a huge difference in your life. You can. Every single one of you. You can learn exactly what you need to learn to change your life dramatically sooner rather than later. How many would like to change your life sooner rather than later? So this book, you know, Harv, the thing is, when I went to see Harv, I saw Harv in November of 2003 in Los Angeles. So it's just a little bit over 8 years ago. That was a life-changing weekend for me in so many ways. Number one, I didn't go to the Millionaire Mind Intensive because I wanted to go to the Millionaire Mind Intensive. You know where I went? I hadn't seen my buddy Harv in 23 years, and now he's like a guru. I can't wait to see him. He was so much fun to be around. There was a bunch of guys, and he was one of them. We all had a great time together. I couldn't wait to see Harv. And when I see that there's 1,200 people in that room, and each one of those people had spent $1,500, how much? $1,500. Okay, $1,500 times 1,200 people. Who are my CPAs out there? Who can do quick math? How much is that for a weekend? 1.8 million.
Wow.
And then I say, you know what? My buddy Harv, you know, if I'm going to model someone, who do I want to model? Somebody who's making $70,000 a year, or somebody who's making $1.8 million in 3 days? Who do I want to model? Let me think. Let me think about this here. Okay, let me think about it. And then, on top of that, he says, come and run and build my company. How lucky is that? Come and run and build my company. And while I'm building his company, do you think I'm watching him like a hawk to see everything he does all day long? How he manages his time, how he negotiates, how he markets and promotes, how he trains and he teaches? You don't think I was watching him like a hawk? How many people get an opportunity like that in their lifetime? Seriously. Thank you, Linda. Seriously. How many people get an opportunity to see a guy who makes mega $1 million effortlessly? You think effortlessly. That's why he didn't want to deal with the business part of it. When he was on stage, it was so natural for him. He could train people better than anybody. He could sell people the opportunities to get involved in his other programs better than anybody. He still can to this day. He's having the time of his life. You know who wasn't having the time of his life was me. You have no idea the headaches I was dealing with at corporate, at home office, building the business. You have no idea the headaches. No idea. That's why you're going to hear this as you come every Tuesday. look, you know, you can be in business. There's lots of different kinds of businesses. I'm still a huge believer in the network marketing concept, and I'll tell you why. In the network marketing concept, home office has taken care of all the headaches. They figured out the product, they figured out the marketing, they figured out the accounting and the finance. They've got the marketing material set up for you. They have everything set up for you, so you don't have to do all that stuff. All you have to do is open up your mouth and tell people about your program. True or true? True. Right? That's it. Now, when you start your own business, not only do you have to open up your mouth and tell people about your program, but you've got to take care of all the operations and all the headaches there, all the production and all the headaches there, all the marketing and all the headaches there. Do you know how much time, money, and effort it takes you to build your business? And when you do a network marketing model, if it's the right business and it resonates with you, you don't have to do any of that stuff. True or true? True. I'm telling you, I've built businesses. I know how much effort and how much challenge it is to build the systems. I'm doing it now with a couple of businesses. I'm doing it with the 2% Club. We're systemizing everything. There's a lot of work. True or true? True. And when you do network marketing with the right kind of a company, all that is done for you. True or true? True. So, you know, over the years, of course, I've been approached by, I would say at this point, thousands of people to be involved in their network marketing business. And for whatever the reason was, I've always, it hasn't resonated with me, the particular product or service. Because I have a certain brand, I have a certain style, I have a certain passion. And so for me, it's all about finding something that would totally resonate with me. And you know, I'm constantly on the lookout. I have a couple of things right now that I'm really doing some really serious due diligence, because I believe everybody should do their due diligence. True or true? True. But, you know, if I find something that resonates with me, I will absolutely positively jump in with both feet. But it's got to be the right product or service. And so for me, I know pretty much everything that's out there, but I have an advantage over all of you guys. I have an inside track, because I have a very close personal friend who works in the industry and basically knows every new major network marketing company that's launching. And by the way, there are lots of them. You have no idea how many of them there are. But most of them will never get off the launching pad. And this guy really knows, like, the ones that absolutely positively are hitting the market at the right time. It's the right product at the right time and the right everything. And so he's constantly calling me and saying, you know, let me share this with you, or let me share that with you. And so I always have a chance to kind of like get to see the stuff before it comes out. And I said, you know, that's not my thing. But he did show me one thing that I do have to admit is something that's really intrigued me. And it's still about 3 months away from it actually getting launched. But if it's as good as what I've seen so far, it's definitely something that I would jump in with both feet, if it's really what it appears to be. And the good news is this guy takes care of all of their marketing materials, all their educational materials. The primary trainer is a guy by the name of Bob Proctor. Has anybody ever heard of Bob Proctor? So, I mean, you know, and Bob Proctor is not going to endorse somebody unless his organization checks them out and makes sure that they're totally legitimate and all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, long story short, Harv tells his story. And what Harv says is that he had to fail over a dozen times. He had to. It was part of his blueprint. It was part of the learning process. And the most important thing that happened to him was when he had a conversation with one of his dad's poker buddies, who was one of the most wealthy guys in all of Toronto. And this guy said to Harv, he said, Harv, if you're not seeing all the financial success you want, all that means is that there's something you still don't know. And you've heard me say this before. Harv said at that exact moment, he went from being a know-it-all to being a learn-it-all. And look at him now. He was broke. When he changed his mindset from being a know-it-all to being a learn-it-all, his life changed. His life changed. That's so important you understand that. And what did he decide? Not only was he going to study the most successful business people on the face of this planet, but he also wanted to study the ones that made it the most quickly, because guess how he wanted to create his wealth?
Fast.
He wanted to do it quickly. So, not only did he make up his mind that he was going to model, what's the word?
Model.
The most successful business people on the planet, not only in terms of their business strategies. Is having the right business strategies important?
Yes.
Yes.
I guarantee you most of you do not have the right business strategies. Guaranteed. You don't. And not only does he study their business strategies and the tactics that they use to make the strategy work. Henry, know the difference between a strategy and a tactic?
Strategy is what you're planning. A tactic is what you're executing, isn't it?
Yeah. What specific marketing tool are you using, and how are you using it, right? The strategy might be to get your name out in front of a lot of people. The tactic is to use a certain type of social media to get that message out there, right? So there's a difference between, you have to know what the strategy is, you have to know what the tactics are of the most successful people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You want to model these people in terms of what they're doing in the real world that's creating success for them. Real money in the real world. True or true? Are they really making real money in the real world?
Yes.
Yeah, because what are they delivering?
Massive value.
Yeah, you think they have a system for doing it?
Yes.
Yeah, and you're going to learn a system too, right? And that works in any kind of business. What kind of business?
Any.
It'll work in a retail business, in a wholesale business, in the service business, in the product business, in a home-based business, in a direct sales business, in a network marketing business. It doesn't matter what kind of business. True or true?
True.
Okay, so you need to understand this. So here's the thing. So Harv decides, what's that? Okay. So Harv decides that he is going to dedicate himself to learning not only the strategies and the tactics, but he's also going to learn the mindset. The what?
Mindset.
And he changed his money blueprint. He changed his money and business and success blueprint. And that's what we're going to do this year in this book. We are going to make sure that your money and success blueprint is set for massive, what's the word?
Massive.
Massive results. So that you will take massive what?
Action.
Massive action. So I want you to turn to both your neighbors, give them a high five, and say, this year I'm going to take massive action.
This year I'm going to take massive action.
Jeremiah, a little massive action?
Okay, so we're going on 9 o'clock. Next week, what we're going to do is we're going to start talking not about the wealth files, but we're going to start talking about what is our blueprint, why is our blueprint important, how is our blueprint formed. So basically the first 20, 30, 40 pages of the book. So if you have a chance between now and then, I highly encourage you to read and study and think about it, and think about your blueprint, and think about how important your blueprint is. How important is your blueprint? Is it everything? Everything. You work on your blueprint this year for 365 days, and you focus on your money and success blueprint. I promise you, I guarantee you, that a year from today you will not recognize who you are. You won't recognize anyone in this room. I guarantee it. So, I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year one more time. Tomorrow, tomorrow night, is the National Business Experts has their it's their networking meeting. If you guys aren't involved in it, get involved in it.
5 o'clock for people who haven't been, so they can get the membership.
Get involved in it, learn about it, participate in it. Look, I want all of you guys to be massively successful. How many of you guys want to be massively successful? It doesn't matter what I want, it only matters what you want. Okay, if you want to become massively successful, I really want to encourage you to learn the skills of social media and begin to work and collaborate with the other people in here and the other people that you know to help them build and promote themselves and their values. So, Linda, was there something you want to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that we let Jason speak, because it's really important.
Okay, so it's 9 o'clock now. I thank everybody for coming, and let's give Jason